we are all on the same team. And this is decided not by the country we live in or the gender we are, but the direction in which we look. If we all go out to the field in the back and we're all shooting on the same net, that implies that we're all on the same team. And taking this to a philosophical level, all of us are looking in the direction of happiness. Each and every person in this room that is here, that is not here, everyone is looking in the direction of happiness. Some people walk towards it, some people walk backwards, some people move laterally, some people don't move. But we're all looking in the same direction. That thought alone can unify the world. Like I said about the news yesterday, it's just a matter of where people are being killed. The killing is happening, but where it's happening is now rotating throughout different parts of the world. But if the person who's killing realizes that the person they're killing, that we're both looking in the same direction, we both want and need the same thing, would they follow through with what they're doing? After Bhagavan Krishna teaches Prince Arjuna about contemplation, in the next chapter, he tells Prince Arjuna that everyone is a devotee, but there's different caliber of devotees. In our context, everyone is a thinker. But the question is, when do we think? And we'll take the bottom level of thinkers. They are the people who only think when they hit the bottom. When there's adversity, then they start to ask, why is this adversity happening to me? What should I do about this adversity? And the example shared by Madhusudana Saraswati is Draupadi. When she's being disrobed, she goes to her husbands, she goes to the administration, she goes to the grandsire, she goes everywhere. And only when she looks up, meaning she starts to look to Lord Krishna, her clothes still keep coming off, but more clothes come on. When she was in adversity, she thought. Higher than that is someone who thinks not only in adversity, but also prosperity. This person knows that by thinking or by remembering the Lord, they came out of adversity and are now in prosperity, and they remember that. They're grateful for that. And the example, again given by Madhusudana Saraswati, is Sugriva. That when he became the king of the monkeys again, he still served Lord Rama. Not just when he was enslaved by his brother or threatened by his brother. So for us, some of us think in prosperity, some of us don't. Higher than that is a person who thinks independently. Adversity, prosperity means nothing. They know that there's more to life than what they're experiencing, whether good or bad, and they want to know what that more is. They're the person who wants to know what God is. They know good comes, bad comes. And the example given is of Raja Janaka. Though Raja Janaka was highly knowledgeable, an enlightened being, he always wanted to know more about Bhagavan. He always wanted to see him more. So for us too, despite all the hardships, despite all the successes, when we still think there's more to all of this, then we're like that type of thinker. And the highest type of thinker, the jnani, doesn't think. They've gone past that. Theirs is, thy will be done. They don't pray for anything. Because if they pray, that implies that they know more than the Creator. So their prayer simply is, I want to be in your presence. You know what's best. I know you're the best. let it be there. For us as well, in the context of thinking, when we stop thinking about love, then that means we know what love is. The only one not pursuing happiness is the one who's happy. The only one not thinking about love in the higher level is the one who knows what love is. Why do they have to think about it anymore? When I was teaching at the Youth Empowerment Program 2 years ago, I was sharing thoughts with our students, and I sensed that it was becoming too theoretical. So after that discourse, I told them, when I meet you in the afternoon, we're going to go to a special place. And in this special place, you need to dress up. They're all at Krishnalaya in Northern California. So they don't have a lot of clothes, not their best clothes. But I told them to dress your finest. Gel your hair, make sure you look like a peahen. Put your perfume on, look good. Because we're going to go to a special place. We're going to go clubbing. That was the last statement that I made. They never came back to the course after. And so when they walked in with their salwar kameezes on and their kurta pajamas, and they looked very good, they were all given a blindfold. And they were all blindfolded. And I said, welcome to Club Sattva. And then we played music. And in that lecture hall, everyone just danced. But no one could see them dance, other than me. These are the privileges of sitting on this side, this side of the room. And occasionally I would walk around and tap someone on the shoulder so they can see how no one knows how to dance. So what is it that you're putting this mask on for? Why do we wear masks of, I need to please this person? I need to compromise on what I think is right for the group of people over there. I was in a satsang where the speaker began sharing, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am what I think you're thinking about me. I get confused just saying that. let alone implementing that. But isn't that how we live? I'm always thinking about what you're thinking about me. And can anyone ever be clear in such a way? That's why Gurudev said, people give into sadism. They try to escape their loneliness, which is really incompleteness, which is really ignorance, by making others feel small, making them a slave to themselves. Like Ravana. Ravana is the original bully. Everyone around him he made small. Even though everyone around him was great. His father was great. His brothers were great in different ways. His wife was great. His kingdom was great. But he always felt so insecure that he'd make everyone smaller. Don't we recognize insecure people because they always speak with a level of negativity? When someone says, this person just achieved this or they got into this school, yeah, but that school's not doing so well anymore. Or my neighbor achieved more, but who cares about your neighbor? This person achieved it. It's that insecurity. And you can never live clearly if you're insecure. Lord Rama, on the other hand, was the original leader. Even the smallest people around him, he made them feel so big. He made everyone feel like they did the work, while actually, he did the work, isn't it? Even in one instance, he was watching everyone put these stones with his name in the water, and everything was floating, so he wanted to try. So he goes over there, and he writes his name, so no one's looking, And he drops a stone in the water and it goes straight to the bottom. And Hanumanji's always watching Lord Rama. Hanumanji, imagine Hanumanji creeping up behind him. He says, you know why it didn't work? Because anything you let go of will always fall to the bottom. Isn't it? If we don't think about the Creator, we will always fall to the bottom. And eventually we'll look up again, and we will suffer a whole lot in between. And so comes the masochistic person. The person who likes all of this, likes being on the bottom, likes being stressed out. I meet a lot of people who are in relationships, beginning or established, and the people who are beginning their relationship, they tell me, I'm a very jealous kind of boyfriend. And they say it with such pride. And they look at their girlfriend. I'm a very jealous kind of boyfriend. What you're really saying is you don't trust her. Why do you glorify your weakness? Other contexts, you have husbands that say, I'm a very angry person. And I'm just telling the truth about the jealous boyfriends and the angry husbands. I said nothing about the women. They're all in satsang, learning how to be better. This last yatra that I led, there was 31 people on it. 22 were females. They're just more interested. And they glorify their anger. Their anger. That said, I like being enslaved. All of you are sensitive. Sensitivity is different than being emotional. The sensitive person is someone who practices ahimsa at a physical level, mental level, intellectual level. All of you have had enough of suffering. That's why you're here. And anyone who leaves here still remembering these teachings, you've had enough of suffering even more. And Madhusudana Saraswati, I just simplify that. It's too many words. MS. MS says, he's so mad at me right now. He says that we should be as sensitive as an eyeball. You bring anything near your eye, it will close, it will flinch, it will look in the other way. That's how we should be with suffering. A little bit of suffering comes in, enough. I need to do something about this. I need to change. And all of you are being sensitive. Gurudev is saying, keep being sensitive. Keep learning about love. That's why we're exploring Love Thyself. How many of you read the rad that was put up today on Valentine's? Just a few people. Okay. The rad today was, a rad is a reflection adventure of the day. If we reflect, our days become much more meaningful. Valentine's Day is a reminder to love ourselves so much that we grow, serve, and identify with the self so that we never need love. Imagine how strong we would be if we didn't need love. That would show we could be capable of giving that love. Only then will Valentine's Day be happy. And talking about sensitivity, I'm surprised that there's this many people, other than the chicks, who are here for Valentine's Day. But that shows that you want to know more about what love is. Today, too, when I'm finished speaking in a little while, then I'll take up yesterday's questions, and if you have more, then please write them down. We'll save some time, and I'll collect them right away. If everyone pauses for a moment and reflects deeply on the hardships that they've experienced in life, if I can categorize those hardships, I would say it's caused by people. It could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a parent, a boss, a neighbor, caused by People are the greatest source of sorrow in our lives. But they're also supposed to be the greatest source of joy in our lives. That's why balance is needed. That's why this study is needed to level out this duality, this dichotomy. Our rishis knew that working with people, living with people, is most difficult. And you know what people used to do before they got into relationships? They trained themselves. For anyone who's seen American Sniper, he was just this person living in Texas. Who knows why, but he was there. Only Texans know why they live in Texas. And then he wants to join the military, so he goes through training. And it's pretty hardcore training, and that's why he becomes so good at what he does. So only with that training did he survive. Did he save other people. What kind of training will make us survive in relationships? Encourage us to help others? When we learn how to love ourselves. When kids were 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they used to move to the Gurukul. And there they lived with a guru and a guru patni and learned how to be well-rounded people. They learned how to cook, they learned how to hunt, they learned about time management, finances, Vedanta, everything. Sometimes people ask me, if you weren't doing what you're doing, what would you be doing? And my response is, I'd be a letter carrier. My dream job, other than being an acharya, is to be a letter carrier. You're serving. You don't have to pay for a gym membership. You're always in with nature. You can do japa 8 hours a day. What an idea, and great benefits. I would like to be a letter carrier. Now, presuming that Puja Guruji won't let me be a letter carrier, if I can extend what I'm doing now, my dream would be to start a Gurukul, where Sheila and I created an ashram, and you sent your kids, your grandkids, and they came and lived with us for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. And they learned how to be well-rounded people, not just academics, not just video games, but they learned to go to sleep at 10 p.m. and to wake up at 4 a.m. Today I said wake up at 10 a.m. They're like, yeah, 10 a.m. That would be such a dream. And I think it's needed now more than ever. Because now is the most precarious time to be a child. And I keep narrating that when my grandparents came home from school, they just hung out with their siblings. When my parents came home from school, they hung out with the neighborhood kids. When I came home, occasionally I'd ask to go to a movie or go to a soccer game or whatever. Now, every night I need to go somewhere. I can't stay with myself, right? Hang out with my parents? I'm not a loser. But isn't that the case? What did you do Friday night? I watched a movie with my mom. Delayed reaction. I was like the sloth. This training is needed. All of us in relationships, and we still find it hard, and we think we've learned so much, we've come here for so long. Why is it so hard? And the reason is, we do not love who we are. The person who loves who they are, they're always virtuous. They're calm, they're patient, they're loving, they're compassionate, they're humble, they're everything. And the person who doesn't love who they are, vicious. They're so shattered inside. They don't know how to speak clearly outside. They don't know how to relate to people. That's why it's difficult. We don't love who we are. How many people have you met in your week who love what they do, who would rather be awake than sleeping. There's your gauge. How many people have you met that would rather be awake than go to sleep? A handful in our lifetime. Those are the people who are going to get enlightened, and we're going to be thinking, what makes them different? And it's they learned how to love themselves. Love is investing. If I love this ashram, I will constantly invest my resources, my time, my effort. If I love the nation, I'll do the same. If I hate the nation, what do I get out of all of this? If I hate this ashram, oh, there's a microphone. I should walk away with the microphone. 3 chairs in the back. What do I take from all this? No investment. Extract. This is about application. And there's a beautiful song by the band Extreme entitled, More Than Words. Make love more than words. And what this song says is, show me that you love me. How? Invest in me. Resources, time, effort. I'm trying to make this very tangible. It's so easy to say you love someone, but are you giving your resources, time, and effort to them? If we're not, we don't love them. And Guruji very thoughtfully shared, tell me who you love, and I'll tell you who you are. The people that we love in our life, actually, they're the type of people that we want to become. So if you love, today when I was posting on Twitter, then they show me a screen above that you should follow these people. And Kim Kardashian was on it. And I was just looking at my numbers. I was like, oh, I have almost 600 people that follow me. I wonder how many people follow Kim Kardashian. So I clicked on that, and it was like 6 million. 6 million people want to know what Kim Kardashian is eating. And now she's brushing her hair, and the hair fell off, and then I walked over and put it in the garbage. And some of you are those people. Why are you all You're all giggling. Yeah, what kind of person would do that? What kind of people do we love? Who are we? Sometimes we are the body. And so yesterday we said we need to make our bodies more efficient. How? Sweat out the thirst for sugar. Sometimes I am the mind. So I need to make my mind more accepting. How? By reading nonfiction. Going back to pop culture. How much of ourselves we give to following other people in life, whether it's an athlete, whether it's a celebrity. Today when I was posting on Facebook, there was an article that said, how to solve problems with one-liners from Shah Rukh Khan. And I learned, I went to Twitter first, so I knew not to click on this button that Shah Rukh Khan would have shared. And I'm thinking, how in the world is Shah Rukh Khan going to solve the world's problems? When the only way to solve the world's problems is what we're doing. But I can't even imagine how many people read that article. I can't imagine how many of you read that article. Whenever people meet Sheila and I, so they ask me where I'm from. What's my mother tongue? And I say English. I was born in Niagara Falls. If people ask you what your mother tongue is, what are you going to respond with? American. Don't say English. You don't speak English. You speak American. But my parents are from Kanpur in Delhi, and then Sheila says her parents are from Bangalore. And they say, do you speak Kannada? And she says, Salpa, Salpa. If you speak Telugu, I think it's Kuncha, Kuncha, or something like that. And Sheila's family likes to try to pretend that they speak Hindi. It's very hurtful, you know? So all of the Hindi she knows is from Bollywood movies. And I don't mean movies, the titles of movies. And I just want to say, okay, listen to Swami Subodhananda speak in Hindi. Why these movie titles? So when we talk about the mind being more accepting, read nonfiction, watch nonfiction, do something towards self-development. Sometimes we are the ego, and we will love our ego by being more humble. And I'd asked all of you to do what? Do nothing. Were you able to do nothing for a little bit of time? It's challenging. It requires a lot of purity of mind to do nothing. Sometimes we believe we're the spirit, and so we try to be independent. And how to be independent? A way to practice that is to hug yourself. Do it now. Everyone, ready? Some people are, I'm already hugging myself. And if you notice the books that we have, pass me that binder. It's like Gurudev hugging himself. But by hugging himself, he's actually embracing the city of Chicago, which represents all of us. The next time you go to a mandir and someone asks you what your gotra is, you say God. That's what my gotra is. What is your lineage? Bhagwan. And when they say, I didn't hear you, you say it again. And then you tell them, so is yours. We both have that divine lineage. But we will only know that our lineage is God if we start to strengthen who we believe we are today. Growth is the gauge of love. And here, someone had asked me about, what if you love your brother? What if you love your mother? Does that automatically count as prema? It doesn't. Sneha, which is a lower love, and prema, which is a higher love, is not based on the position in life. It's based on how it makes you feel, what it does for you. If I worship the nation, I love America, but it makes me a worse person, that's sneha. I'm not intending anything, I'm just using an example. Now, if you start to love Canada, like the rest of the world does, see, it's a vision. It's not the being, it's a vision. If my love raises me, it doesn't matter who that love is directed towards, that is prema. And if my love lowers me, again, it doesn't matter who to whom, then that is sneha, vision. And you know whom this message is most inspiring for? All of us. Because it means we don't have to leave where we are to grow. In your businesses, in your professions, in your schools, in your dormitories, at home, being retired, going to get into the workplace, right where you are. If we just change our vision, that becomes our sadhana. And that's why Lord Krishna did not allow Prince Arjuna to leave. Prince Arjuna is a scholar. He's bringing out all of these scholarly statements. And Lord Krishna just listened. Let him exhaust himself and then said, this is your responsibility. Your love is here. Just that change in vision. With this review of loving thyself, we now shift to love thy neighbor. First scene of Inception. Arthur washes up on the shore. Don washes up on the shore, and they take him to this boardroom. Sato's sitting across from him. Don, Sado looking at each other, both are confused. Why are we here? Don takes out his totem, spins it, realizes why he's there. And because he remembers why he's there, his purpose, he's able to pull Sado out of that confusion too. They're thinking, where is this going? Only when Don loved himself was he able to serve another person, help, love another person. If you and I can love ourselves, then we can also love our neighbors. Now, whenever we think of lovers, people that come to mind are Shakespeare. Anyone related to Shakespeare, his characters. We think about Bollywood actors. This is our idea of love. And in all of these cases with Shakespeare or Bollywood, we see that the lovers are willing to die for their beloved. Right? So many movies, so many plays where the people actually die. But I think more important than asking if they're willing to die is, are you willing to live for your beloved? Willing to die is easy. It's escapism. But are you willing to live for your beloved? That's much harder. When we finished the Vedanta course, I lived in Vivekalaya, and I lived on the top floor, and you have to walk down this stairwell, and there's a small notice board there, and there's never notices there. So I think it was 3 or 5 days before the end of the course, there was a notice, and it essentially said, we hope you enjoyed staying here, now leave. You have 3 days to leave, or you have 5 days to leave. And after you've lived somewhere for 2 years, and really lived somewhere, it's only 7 acres. That's a hard message to digest. I have to leave this place now? But upon further reflection, what the institution is sharing. You know what Gurudev wanted to call Sandipani before he did? He wanted to call it the College of Knowledge. So witty and thoughtful. College of Knowledge. Did you go to the College of Knowledge today? And back in the day, it was so rustic. There was tigers in the ashram. They used to go to the lake and drink out of that lake over there. Gurudev used to do satsangs at the Powai Lake because there was no barriers there. Upon further reflection, what the ashram is saying is, you are able to live fearlessly in a controlled environment. Can you live fearlessly in an uncontrolled environment? What's real, control or uncontrolled? Naturally, uncontrolled is real. When you drive in the weather outside, is the car controlled or uncontrolled? You have to keep adapting to the ice, to the temperature, etc., etc. Driving in India is real. Real lack of control, but they become the best drivers in a way. Not totally, but in a way they become the best drivers. Are we willing to live for our neighbors? So I want you to rethink the word lover. When that word lover comes and we think Shakespeare or Bollywood, I want you to think of Bhagwan Ram. He loved himself. That's why he was always content. And so he loved everyone around him, including Ravana. Last day of the battle, he told Ravana, sent a message to him, all you have to do is give my wife back. You don't have to say sorry. There will be no punishment, no payment, nothing. Please simply return my wife. Not because she's my wife, even because I love her. I miss her. I want her to be safe. Ravana said no. Next day, Lord Rama defeats Ravana. Lord Rama goes to Ravana and says, I've never been a king. And it's true, he's never been a king. You've been a great king. Tell me how to be a great king. And what does Ravana share? Whenever you have a thought of doing something good, do it right away. Whenever you have a thought of doing something bad, wait. All of a sudden, Ravana became this philosopher. Ravana Gita. But he is a devotee, but of the lowest type. Once he hit the bottom, what did he start doing? Thinking that I had this beautiful wife, Mandodari, and my lustful mind was only thinking about Mother Sita. Lord Rama is a lover. Adi Shankaracharya is a lover. He was 8 years old when he wrote his first commentary. Many 8-year-olds do not know how to spell commentary. And this commentary was not on one chapter of Gita, it was on all of Vishnu Sahasranam. Sahasra means 1,000. And after he showed this to his guru said, you don't need my permission anymore. You write whatever you want to write. And so what did he do? He started writing vigorously. He started traveling vigorously. Up and down Bharat 4 times. On foot. We walked around the ashram once and people were half not alive. He loved neighbors. He loved people who loved him. He loved people who hated him. He loved the creatures. He loved that lady who didn't have enough food to give him. Kanakadhara Stotram. He loved that old man who was chanting Sanskrit grammar rules. Bhajagovindam. He loved his disciples. Vivekachudamani. A lover. Even if we think to today, people who are alive, Bill Gates. Why I highlighted Bill Gates, not Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett gave his resources. I conveyed yesterday, that's the easiest to give. Bill Gates is giving his time and effort. That's much harder to give. And why is he doing it? He's doing it to save lives. Fine, he'll be remembered for it, but I think he'd still do it if he were remembered for it. That's wonderful. There are lovers all around us. And what makes someone a lover? They express what's in their heart, and that is service. If love was growth yesterday, as we're trying to be better, love today is service. You grow beyond your confines to the person next to you, to the persons next to you. Service. I believe Gurudev has shared a quote that said, you can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. I believe that's Gurudev's quote. And from a higher perspective, Gurudev is right. But I think someone who's giving without loving, at least they're trying to love. That's Rajasic giving. You give a check for $250,000 to Chinmay Mission Chicago, and you want your name in the parking lot. Very good. It's better than not giving, but better than that is no conditions. So still better, at least that person's trying to love. It was nice how I used the 250,000, right? Now you know where your reference point is. They're trying. When someone serves, if you want to understand the logic of it, they have started to love themselves. They've started to feel infinite. So imagine infinitude radiating outwards. It'll first get the people around you, right? So you're actually not serving someone else. You're just serving yourself. Imagine that. When you serve, you're serving yourself. Who is the most attractive person in the room? You are. Meaning each person. I am to me, you are to you. Who has the most pleasant name in the room? Your name. My name. We love our name, we love our form, we love ourselves unconditionally. We'll do anything for ourselves. And now imagine your name is my name. Your form is my form. Your well-being is my well-being. That's what you're actually serving. Don't think that you're serving someone else. We end that separation. It's fusion. We fuse foods together. We fuse chemicals together. People fuse music together. Today, one of our chicks was mixing. He was trying to mix. And imagine you're mixing, but there's a huge gap in the middle, right? This great song ends with a pause. And then the next song slowly turns on and it slowly fades out. Real mixing is where you don't even know that it's broken, that it's separated. Imagine you don't end where your body ends, or mind, or ego, or spirit. The greatest service is to be godly. God serves us unconditionally. Did God ever ask for money back? Did he ever ask you for your time? Did he ever ask you for your effort? You give nothing to God, will God stop giving to you? See how godly God is. And what I mean by that is see how virtuous God is. And if we just remember how God loves us so much, God can teach us to love just as much. And that's why people who are closer to God in their hearts, they do love more. They know how to go past limitations and try to be limitless. They're on their way to enlightenment. Guruji had shared, for a devotee, they're unconcerned about whatever negativity comes from another person because that's not what they're focused on. A lot of people, when they come to Bharat, think back in the day, especially those who have now come on a yatra and the time previous to going to Bharat. When you went, you focused on the dust. You focused on the heat. You focused on the pollution, the lack of personal space. You focused on how you meet so many relatives that you don't know. You focus on how everywhere you have to have full meals. That's the only good thing about going to Bharat is these full meals, because then you know how I feel when it comes to bhikshas. Vivekji, don't you like my food? And then really what they're saying is, don't you like me? You're your food now, all of a sudden. But now, when you go on a yatra, you don't go on vacation, you go on a yatra. Do you ever think of the pollution too much? Or the dust? Or the heat? Or relatives saying, oh, how come you're not visiting? Or food? Or anything like that? This time when we went, we had more than 30 people, and we all took a 28-hour train ride from Pune to Siruvani. We got into the Pune train station on the first evening of January, and that 28-hour train ride slowly evolved into a 32-hour train ride. And while we were on this train, you have two options. First class or second class? Which is the choice class? Second class. 2-tier, meaning 2 bunks, or 3 bunks, which is the choice tiers. 3. And then you have AC or non-AC. And what is the choice when it comes to air conditioning? Non-AC. Now you're all thinking, what happened next? Don't think this is the lowest form of traveling. This is the most ordinary way of traveling. And so 30 of us are spread out through this train, 2 compartments, many booths, etc., etc. And my group, because of our names, we take the last booth. And we're all there, and we're sitting, we're lying down, etc. And we were very fortunate because our booth was closest to the toilet. And so as that air rushed in from the other compartments, bringing the fragrance of that whole train, and When you're sleeping. You're eating. But I observed my compartment, and everyone had a smile on their face. Everyone had that smile because their focus was not the toilet. Their focus was the journey, the adventure, the yatra. So for a devotee, all of the hardships that come with serving people, neighbor here means people, they're unconcerned because they're only serving their Lord. When Prahlad says, yes, Bhagavan is in that pillar, he's wrong. Bhagavan's not in the pillar, Bhagavan is the pillar. That's what he sees. He doesn't see that pillar. That's not his focus. Love thyself is growth. Love thy neighbor is service. Someone who serves themselves first is able to serve everyone. And we rewind to Puja Gurudev's life. He invested a whole lot in himself with Swami Shivananda, with Swami Tapovanam. And when he was strong enough, he was as strong as Mother Ganga. And he flowed into the plains with no shoes, little food, not knowing anyone. Puja Swami Vivekananda, when he left Bharat to come to America, people said, Swamiji, why are you going? And his response, so you'll listen to me. As long as he was in Bharat, no one paid attention to him. No one listened to him. As soon as he landed in America, all of a sudden, everyone, oh, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda. And when he came, he didn't have a sponsor, or a visa, or a phone, or a suitcase. He just came as he is. But he was so strong. Physically as well, he's known to pick people up by their cuff, and people who would insult Sanatana Dharma, he would pick them up and scare them. Because he needed to. He wasn't a bully. He was like, Swami Vivekananda, thug. Thug life. That's what people needed. You know, that shock treatment into respecting Sanatana Dharma. For others, it was giving these grandiose speeches. That's what they needed. He was everything. Because he was strong enough, he was able to serve others. That is success. I've asked you to rethink the word lover. I'm also asking you to rethink the word success. Success is self-development is for all. You make yourself stronger, you make everyone stronger. If we take America and one person has an extra dollar, the whole nation is richer. Correct? That's why capitalism doesn't work. Anywhere. I'm not even saying this nation, anywhere. The rich keep getting richer, the poor keep losing that. The best schools keep getting better, the worst schools keep becoming lower. But not under Lord Rama's rule. In Ram Rajya, there was prosperity outside and there was peace inside. And what that meant is one person's success should, real success creates everyone's success. Episode 11 of Upanishad Ganga is on Artha. And Chanakya, so thoughtfully shares to his king. His king is very dull, indulgent, lazy, just focused on himself. And he walks in there and says, no king and no teacher can ever be happy. And he says, why? I'm the king. Why can't I be happy? And he says, as long as one of your subjects is suffering, they're your responsibility. And he says to the teacher, as long as your students do not know the truth, you have to keep working. Brilliant episode. Try to watch that. One person's success should be everyone's success. That's true success. But if I succeed and you don't benefit in turn, that's not success. That is the illusion of success. It is a zero-sum game, in which case there's always going to be a loser. We have to go. Self-development is not a zero-sum game. Sheila and I went to so many airports in Bharat this time. We traveled to so many places, including Toronto in Germany, and we had to delayed flights, missed flights, etc., etc. And we would watch people. And in India, flying is not as common as it is here. It's a big deal to be on a plane in Bharat. That's why when people are on the plane, they're on their phone, I'm on a plane right now. I'm about to fly. Everyone's talking so loud, like there's no one else on the plane. And when you hear this, you can't help but smile, right? They're so happy to be there. I don't know these people. They're actually annoying me. But I can't help smiling either. When those grandparents separate from their grandkids and they're so sad, that you can't help but be sad either. See how our smiles cause other people to smile and our tears cause other people to tear up. That's why I used the word connection yesterday. If I know the jiva, my natural question is, what is the connection to the jagat? It's not broken. There's a fusion there. In chapter 6 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, before Bhagavan Krishna introduces contemplation, he shares a shloka, one of the most important shlokas in Gita, that says, he highlights 10 different types of relationships. In other words, serve thy neighbor. What kind of neighbor is this neighbor? And he lists them all out. And he says, to the person who knows how to contemplate all of these relationships, he is balanced in all of them. He is loving in all of them. With this background, I'm actually going to list all of those relationships for you. And I'm also going to share how can you love that particular type of neighbor. All right? So yesterday I said BV, BMV, Om, and I gave a specific gauge of how to do this. Now I'm bringing that to love thy neighbor. And we're going to go from the hardest neighbors to get along with to the easiest. Please remember, when I say neighbor, I don't just mean the person who lives next to you. I mean your spouse, your child, your parent, your acharya, your shishya, your companion, the person sitting next to you on the plane, your banker, your manager, the person who's trying to steal from you, the person who hits your car, the person who fixes your car. Just keep on going with that. And the vision to keep in mind, if you ever go camping, not that Indians go camping. So just Google it because you're not going to go. At a campsite it says, please leave this campsite better than when you found it. Now think. And then think again. What is bettering someone else? It's making them smile. It's making them have a better day. Do you all know what a good day is when you have a good day or a bad day? Create a good day for someone. Especially when they're having a bad day. Our option when they're having a bad day, you're having a bad day, I'm going to make this worse. Or abstinence, we just walk away. Why not be there to face that person? We start at the bottom. We start in the bottom. The hardest neighbor to serve is a papi. This is Shloka 9, chapter 6. A papi, by definition, is someone who does not study the scriptures, and so someone who is not following the message of the scriptures. Now, people who are coming in here for the first time are thinking, are you calling us papis? Yes, but you can learn from life. You don't have to pick up this book to get enlightened. You can get enlightened in any language. You can get enlightened in no language. Someone who has no value system is a papi. No value system. Lord Krishna calls that person someone who follows the path of darkness. They feel valuables are more important than values. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but now that I've started, I can't stop, right? So Sheila and I get to go to a lot of hotels and motels because of camps we do, etc., etc. So as soon as we walk into a room, yesterday was interesting. We came into the wrong room. And so Sheila and I were outside, and there's two girls inside. And I said, "This is not going to work." So as soon as we walk in, we leave our suitcases, take our shoes off, hang up our coats, leave our suitcases, and I go straight to undoing my bag and setting up the computer in, getting a network connection. And the first thing Sheila does is go to the bathroom, and she says, "Look at all the soaps. They smell so good." And then she walks over to the bed and feels the pillows and feels the bed and all of that. And I was thinking, same hotel room, but totally different experiences. So, you can study the scriptures and still be a papi. And you cannot study scriptures and still be a great person. You see my point? It's not about studying the scriptures. It's about embracing the values. So someone who is a papi, do nothing for them. Do not try to serve such a person because they're not ready to be served. It would be our arrogance to think that we can go and serve such a person. It will backfire against us. It will be counterproductive for such a person. Such a person who has no values in life, let them be. Higher than that, not harder, it's becoming easier now, is an Ari. Ari means an enemy. Now, technically, an enemy is someone who causes you harm for no reason at all. Someone who causes you harm for no reason at all. So don't call your sibling an enemy. Because you cause them. There's a definition. That's coming later. You cause harm, they cause harm, that's coming. But someone who causes you harm for no reason, that's an Ari. That's why sometimes the mind is called an Ari. Sometimes our minds just bother us. Especially when we're trying so hard to be quiet, like this morning. And the mind is just there, moving. What should we do with people who cause us harm for no reason? The way to serve such people is to give them attention. How do we know this? Look at what Narada Muni did to Ratnakar. Who's Ratnakar? Who did he become? Sant Valmiki. Nobody gave Ratnakar attention. No one talked to him. Everyone ran. So no one faced him. Everyone went the opposite way. But Narada Muni stayed in his place, talked to him, asked him about his family, didn't advise him, didn't give him anything, didn't blame him, didn't judge him, just gave him attention. And look at the change that happened. When someone is causing you harm for no reason, just listen to them. Hear them out. Be in their presence. Show them that you're not afraid. That will shape them in itself. People who cause fear grow stronger when people are afraid of it, correct? Like Bali. Anyone who comes in front of him, he becomes 50% stronger. So give them their attention. Higher than that is a dvesha. That's a third relation. Dvesha is someone who causes you harm only because you cause them harm, aka sibling. So you offended them, so what are they naturally doing? Offending you back. You push them, they push you back. How do we serve someone who is a dvesha? Initiate a dialogue with them. Talk to them. Maybe what you said you didn't mean. Just like right now when I talked about the hotel and you all said something about a papi, and I had to clarify myself. I initiated that dialogue. Guruji says, so many of our problems can be solved if we just say sorry. That's it. Just say you're sorry. Even if you don't mean you're sorry in the circumstance, but you want that relationship to be mended, say it. It's the same intention. Say sorry. Say you made a mistake. That goes so far with people, is saying you made a mistake. We always have this game that I have to present myself as perfect. We talked about the resume question yesterday. But you become false. Who here, anyone who's not made a mistake in their life, please put your hand. In one place, a man put his hand up. I said, there's your first. And then he sat back like this. In my mind, there's your second. Initiate a dialogue with them. And every one of our scriptures is a dialogue, isn't it? Ramayana is a dialogue. Bhagavatam, there's so many dialogues that you can't even keep track of what's going on in Bhagavatam. But you know there's some sort of dialogue going on. Ramayana is between animals. With Dakshinamurti, it's not even words and there's dialogue going on. Initiate that dialogue. Just ask them, how do you feel? What do you think? What do you think I meant by this? When I tell riddles to our Balagir students, I always ask them to repeat it back to me. Such as, Balagir students, as I mentioned, if you have an answer, don't just shout it out. What has mountains but no stones, oceans but no water, deserts but no sand, and cities but no people? And then I go back and say, what has mountains but no? Deserts but no? Oceans but no? Water. Cities but no? People. So now I know they got it. Then the answer is a map, a globe, Google. But Balagir students are too smart. They say Brahman. Their first answer is Brahman. And how do I tell them that's the wrong answer? They say Brahman. Then they go, next answer is Maya. Next answer is mine. And I just went, I'm sorry. Why did I ask that? You know in Wheel of Fortune how they give you that RSTLNE? In Vedanta, it's Brahman, Maya, mind, ego, knowledge, and it's one of these answers, so just pick whichever one you want out of this. So we go to Papi. Mind your own business. Let them be. Let the world teach them, serve them. Ari. Give them attention. Do not run away. Do not ignore them. Face them. Dvesha. Initiate that dialogue. So that's at the lower spectrum. Now we get into a middle type of relationship. We go to Udasina. Udasina means someone who's indifferent. You do well, good. You don't do well, fine. They're totally aloof to us. How to serve such a person? Bring them to satsang. Because in satsang, purpose comes into our life. So that person who's really aloof, doesn't have a reason to wake up or bathe or anything like that. Satsang is that purpose. To be better, to be happier, and so on and so forth. We saw that with Dan Millman and Socrates. Socrates asks him one question, are you happy? Dan says, this is in the movie Peaceful Warrior, what does happiness have to do with anything? Socrates replies saying, this happiness has to do with everything. See how Socrates took him to satsang? Dan is udasina. Things are good, things are bad, it doesn't matter. Socrates just made him think more, gave him purpose. And it shook him out of that tamas. Udasina. Higher than that, madhyastha. Madhyastha is someone who is your well-wisher. They're always supporting you, encouraging you, praising you, praying for you. How do we serve such a person? Appreciate them. Appreciate the way they are so that they keep being the way they are. So they continue to be the way they are when it comes to support and so on. Madhyastha, appreciate. Higher than that is a bandhu. What does bandhu mean? A relative. And so, what MS says about this, a bandhu only cares because you're related to them. If you were not related to them, they would not care. And it sounds harsh, but I know every one of us knows such relatives. See how accurate these descriptions are. Someone who only cares because they're related. How should we serve such a person? Connect with them at a deeper level. If they only care for you because you're related, become their friend. Become their workout buddy. Start a reading club with them. Do something to connect with them at a deeper level so that there's service there beyond that actual relation. So the middle level, udasina. Take them to satsang. Give them purpose. Madhyastha, well-wisher. Keep appreciating them. Bandhu, connect with them at a deeper level. And for all the parents in the room who have teenagers. Dun, dun, dun. I shouldn't say that. Teenagers are not problematic. I don't need to elaborate. The key is to connect with them at a deeper level. As people become 13, 14, 15, they tend to drift from their parents because their parents are no longer their primary influence in life. It's become their friends. And naturally, we want to be around people who influence us. That's what I'm saying. It's not their problem. It's just that change that's taking place. And so, when you ask them, how was school? You went to school, you know. How are you? I don't ask you. Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? What did you learn in Balagar? Stuff. But if their friend texts them, what's going on? What are you thinking about right now? And on and on and on and on and on. That's why we have unlimited texting plans. How is that possible? There should be an unlimited texting plan. Like the government should step in and say 3 texts a day, that's it. The more mature party has to adapt more. So the parents have to come in to where those teenagers are, relate to them at that level, and essentially you put your foot in the door and then you keep on opening. In one of our centers, the high school teacher had to leave to India on an emergency for a longer period of time. So they pushed in this uncle to go teach this class. This uncle was highly intimidated by teaching this class. And based on the center he was in, there's a local college football team where everyone loves that college team. Highly cult-like. Like most cities in the United States. And I told him, you spend the last 10 minutes of each class talking to your students about football. Which means you need to study what's going on, who are they playing, what are the players like, who's injured, etc. And then those last 10 minutes, yes, you don't need to teach them Bhagavad Gita, you talk about football. And when I saw him 2 months later, I said, so how's the class going? And he said, great. They all pay attention, all class, waiting for those 10 minutes where they can connect on football. And many Orthodox people will say, but those 10 minutes are important. I would say those 50 minutes are important. That they're not just judging this uncle for not knowing anything about anything. So as parents, connect with them. Whether it's about Kim Kardashian or Shah Rukh Khan. I know, and it hurts me to say that. You have no idea. It's being recorded and I still said it. But if Kim Kardashian can lead to Hanumanji, then you're great. It's worth it then. Connect at a deeper level with relatives. For all of you with your grandparents, ask them how it was before partition. Ask them how they met each other. Ask them how your parents used to misbehave, etc., etc., etc. They love talking about that. They love it. But ours is so functional. Namaste, namaste. And then you just wait for them to keep talking. But engage them. Ask them about their history. Ask them how they're doing. It means so much. And with technology, we're at a huge advantage with FaceTime and so on. Third section. Now it's becoming easier. Okay, we went from very hard to becoming easier. The seventh relation is mitra. Mitra means friend. Technically, that means someone who's affectionate. A friend is someone who is affectionate. And how do we serve such a friend? Be affectionate back. Our society has become quite stoic, quite sterile. Everyone's waiting to sue everyone. You looked at me like this, and you wore my coat, what were you thinking, etc., etc. But I think it makes the world of difference just putting your hand on someone's back while you talk to them. Hugging someone when you see them. Like we do, we shake hands and we have to shake like, and then Purell comes out. I shook your hand, then use this. What is my message to you? You're dirty and I'm not. And Vedic culture, at least we're hygienic, in that way. But so affectionate. We should be comfortable with ourselves, and so we'll be comfortable with others. On our yatra, so I met with each yatri, on all 3 yatras, for as long as they wanted to. Just a one-on-one session. That their parents, their school, anything they wanted to share with me. And at the end, because I feel we're connecting at a deeper level, we had a lot of time together, I would just want to give them a hug. But like one time I went for a hug and the girl ducked underneath my arms. One time I went for this and she was like, another time a guy, he kind of just leaned his shoulder into like one of these. But I just want to say that, hey, you're my friend and I'm expressing that friendship back. We made that awkward too. We made everything awkward. Be affectionate. And start with yourself. I said hug yourself. How many of you hugged yourself in the last 22 and a half hours? I'm not coming back tomorrow. Higher than this is a suhrid. Su means good, hrid means heart. So a good-hearted person. And technically, and this is difficult, as I go up in these relationships, the number of people in that category is becoming smaller. Suhrid is someone who has no expectations of us. I don't even know if we know anyone in our life who doesn't have an expectation of us. It's that rare. A good-hearted person has no expectations. So when you're around such a person, you feel no pressure, no judgment, no insecurity, no fear. Have you ever been with such a person? Very rare that we're around such people. And that's why people loved being around Gurudev. He made them feel so strong, but not at an artificial level, at a deep level, because he made them feel they're more than what they believe. In science, attraction is someone who has a symmetrical face or a symmetrical body. Their eyes are aligned, their face is aligned, their teeth are aligned. That's why we spend so much money on dental. Now, if you look at Gurudev, if you look at Guruji, they're not the most attractive people in the world. They're older men. Get your giggles out and look at For those who have been around Guruji, we just want to be in his kutia as long as possible. He can be full out reading the newspaper and he doesn't even know we're there, and it means nothing to us. Meaning we don't care that he's not looking at us. Correct? How many of you have experienced that? So many of us. It's because they don't have any expectations from us. When I went to the Vedanta course, I went there for myself. I didn't go there to make friends. I didn't go there to be an acharya. I didn't go there to love India. I went there to study knowledge, hoping that it'll help me find contentment. So in the first week, when Guruji said, for this course, 750 people applied, 150 were given interviews, 75 were accepted, 60 of you are now here, and when you finish, if you finish, you can do whatever you want. When he said that, I was like, great, we both understand each other here. Because I'm going to do whatever I want when I finish this course. And the course went on, and when I started the course, I sat at the farthest back row. I used to sit in the back, and I thought as long as I'm near a speaker, and I used to sit with my legs out and my hands back like this. That's how I used to sit in class. No notes, just listening. And then one day, through God's pure grace, I'm walking back from the Mandir, about to go to class, and I thought, I'm going to sit near the front. Let's mix things up and see this perspective. And so I sat in the second row. Because in the second row, you can move all you want, and Guruji still won't see you. And it was, the Vedanta course changed at that point. You can see him, you can see the glow in his eyes, you can feel his words. It's completely different in that context. And so initially, as I started calling him Swamiji, then the word that came out of my mouth was Guruji. And I've read so much Tattva, the Ramayana, you need a guru, you need a guru, you need a guru, and I thought, they consistently are trying to brainwash us. Like Tulsidashi collaborated with Adi Shankaracharya. And they made this message. Bhagavan Vedvyasa, he started all of this. But then just one day that word Guruji came. Because he was living what I'm studying, and I've never seen such a person. And this idea of no conditions. So when I was finishing this course last month, and we meet with our resident acharya, so Guruji met with me last because of my name. And he said, so Vivek, what are you doing when you finish the course? And I said, Guruji, I'm going home. I'm going back to my relationship. I'm going back to be with my mother specifically because we made a deal that I'll go home if I can come here. And he said, okay. Then I was serving him at the main table at Sandipani, for those who have been there. And he called me close, and he never speaks that much. He called me close and he said, why again are you not taking Brahmachari Diksha? And I said, Guruji, because I'm going to my relationship. And he said, okay. Then the third time I happened to be in his kutia. And I got to sing something about, can I attend this training session that's happening just for the students who have committed to serving Chinmay Mission? And he started lacing into me, just ripping into me. I've never had it like that. Swami Bodhatmananda was in the room too, and slowly his head just went like this. He didn't want to be there at all. And so when I left, all the Swami Bodhatmananda and I were walking together, and he just put his hand on me and said nothing. We just both walked back like this. And you see, now I've been serving Chinmay Mission in this capacity for approximately 7 years. Look at what happened to me. That someone loved me unconditionally. Guruji knew of me but didn't know me. We're not a Chinmay Mission family. But he gave me unconditional acceptance. I never had an interview. I thought they made a mistake. Never had an interview. Never said you have to be like be like this or be like that. Said his words, even though he ripped into me, were saying, work hard when you leave. And I can't help but give everything back to that unconditional love. So when we talk about a surah, no expectations, there are people in our lives that are like that, but we have to work our way up there. How do we serve such a person? Just try your best. You doing your best is all that they want from you. They don't want you to be the best. They just want you to try your best. Like the squirrels in Ramayana. Just do what you can. That's all. That's how we serve the surah. And at the highest level, the top of these 9 relations is a sadhu. A sadhu, technically, is someone who studies and follows the message of the scriptures. But I'll be more specific about what a sadhu is. What Tulsidas Ji says in Balkand, he says a sadhu is like cotton. Weird analogy. But he goes on to write that when cotton is taken from that tree, it's pulled, it's stretched, it's torn, it's cut, it's manipulated, it's dyed, it's refined. Everything is done to that cotton just to keep our body warm, just to protect our blemishes. That's what a sadhu is. Goes through the same beating as cotton does. Whether it's the tapas of studying, or dealing with people's negativities, or being judged, criticized, physically hurt, physically tired. And why do they do it? Just to make sure that their shishyas weaknesses are covered. They take that upon themselves. They forgive unconditionally. How should we serve such a sadhu? Give your BMI to them. Give yourself to such a sadhu. Then all that will remain is love. There'll be no one to love, to get love. There will only be love, which is the heart of Sanatana Dharma. Papi, Ari, Dvesha, Udasina, Madhyastha, Bandhu, Mitra, Suhrid, and Sadhu. And you know what the 10th relationship is? All he says is cha. What does cha mean? And. And he doesn't qualify, meaning you can take any other relationship and it will fit into this spectrum. This is how you and I will be happy. Guruji has shared the secret to being happy is make others happy. So it doesn't matter what person on this spectrum, we now know how to serve them. We now know how to make them happy. And in their smile, what will we do? We'll smile back. For anyone who's coming to the Bhagavad classes in the morning tomorrow, I don't know who's taking the assembly or the discourse or whatever it is, but if I'm given a chance for the assembly, we'll do laughing yoga. Just to prove this to you. That when I look like a fool up here, but I'm laughing, everyone else does too. Make others happy. That's loving thy neighbor. Please note, I did not say please thy neighbor. It doesn't say this camp is not please thyself, please thy neighbor, please thy mother. Love thy neighbor means make them happy. Because if it's the word please, no one is going to be happy. Neither the person who's trying to please or the person who's getting pleased. Pleasing is pleasure, it's prayas, it's short-lived. Happy. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Lord Krishna and Prince Arjuna used to finish for the day, you know what Lord Krishna used to do? he used to go and massage the feet of the horses. While Prince Arjuna slept, Lord Krishna used to massage the feet of those horses. There's a section that shows what Lord Krishna does during the day. He wakes up early in the morning. He does his sadhana. Bhagavan Krishna doing his sadhana. Om Namo Bhagavate Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the prayers are going up and coming back. Coming back. He gets ready. He attends to his affairs, etc., etc. And why Vedvyasa shares this is to show how disciplined he is in his day-to-day affairs. We think Bhagavan just sits and everything manifests like this. He even went to the Gurukul. So did Lord Rama. And we think Bhagavan Rama and Lord Krishna went to the Gurukul, but I don't need to. I don't need a guru. I don't need to read the scriptures. Lord Rama, it's because he was confused. Lord Krishna was arrogant. I'm different. Our 23 and a half hours a day that we are consciously engaged in our responsibilities will guide our half an hour of contemplation. See how practical love thy neighbor is. It's saying make these 23 and a half hours filled with service, filled with love, filled with these virtues of listening and encouragement and appreciation and surrender. And then when we sit for contemplation, we'll be so quiet. We'll be like Raja Parikshit, who when he was dying and died, he didn't even know. He was so lost in that silence, he didn't even know that he died. Just think about that. Love is the means, love is the ends. How many of you did your RAD yesterday? Your reflection adventure of the day was to count how many times you used the word I. I'm going to give you your RAD for today, and then I'm going to finish with a prayer. But then I'm curious, for those who actually did it, I want to know how many times you use the word I. Here's your reflection adventure for the upcoming day. And for those who are not coming tomorrow, that means you have to do it forever. So there's your punishment. Your punishment is you have to reflect forever. Yeah, your reward is you'll be enlightened. For the next 22 and a half hours, you have to talk in third person. When you talk to someone, you have to refer to them in third person. So if you're talking to Priya, and you say, Priya, how are you doing? Priya, I don't like you. Wait, I don't like Priya. That's what you say. And Priya, can you have lunch with me? Or whatever it is. And even when you talk about yourself in third person, Vivek thinks that this is wrong. Vivek thinks this is hilarious. So for the next 22 and a half hours, note the choice of date. You do not have to go to school or work tomorrow, most likely. So you cannot be kicked out of school or fired. You'll be surrounded by family who, they're your bandhus, right? They have to love you. They have to love you. Everyone here is your mitra, so they'll be talking in third person too. So it's a good 22 and a half hours to practice.